Well, good morning, Unity of Dallas. I think we could all probably share a big sigh of relief, and we can even say, whew, what a week. What a week. But my heart and our Unity of Dallas collective hearts is affirming that you are safe, whole, sound, and complete. And what is the other word? Warm. Yes, warm. I'm coming to you from my backyard today, and you can see that here the dripping of the icicles, and the snow is melted, and the lake back there is mostly thawing out, and I certainly hope it is where you are. It has been quite a week. Our building has had some challenges with the winter storm. I'm going to come back on in several minutes and talk to you about that. But more than anything, we are here together today to align with the truth, to align with God, and to lift each other up, to put smiles back on our faces. In fact, I have a metaphor that I'm going to come back on later to tell you about putting a smile back on the face. And I've also got somebody I'm going to reveal, somebody or something I'm going to reveal later on, right over there too. But more than ever, we can affirm our opening statements together because it is the truth. It is absolutely the truth. So please, let's do it with gusto. Ready, together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. And that is the way it really is. Thank you for being here with us today. We have an inspiring service lined up. Bless you.
Good morning and welcome to our first Sunday in Lent, where we set our intentions for release and renewal.
Again, everybody, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart how good it is to just be here today, coming to you, to be here after the last couple of weeks, and to be just alive and appreciate life that much more. And I bet you can relate. You know, so many people have gone through challenges all across Texas and really all across the country this past week. and the last 2 weeks and the last year. It's been hard. It has been what a time. But what I sense and what I feel right now is, first of all, my heart is open to you. Our collective hearts at Unity of Dallas is open. And I don't know about you, but during the most challenging of times, with no electricity, sub-zero temperature, feeling ill last week and things like that, it was just something about going back to the basics of the Bible, going back to the teachings of Jesus, how he persevered no matter what. That's what I want to talk about next week, is perseverance, persistence, patience. Have you had to have patience this week? And all the things that we talk about. But Jesus found a way to keep healing and keep moving forward. And so for me, there were so many times I just went down and prayed this past week and found that strength again. Found the strength of God that is always with us. And somehow know that it's going to be okay. In fact, better than okay, that good is going to come out of it. Have you felt that way? Have you felt, even though it's been so challenging over here, on one hand, there are some good things that are happening and coming out of this. One of the things I was writing in this morning I want to show you is this baby book. So this is a book, and it has many firsts. It's a book, it just has many firsts for KK, Caden, my daughter. And so we write in here for our daughter, and it's just first, and of course she's colored in it everywhere on top of what we've written. But there's been some firsts to happen this week that have been so special. Her first snowman, her first real snowball fight, which she won, by the way. First sled ride, which was a baby carrying a box, and we called it KK Rider, and just all these magical memories to photograph. And so she helped me make her very first snowman. And this morning, that's the first thing she wanted to see. She said, Snow Princess, Snow Princess. So I took her outside, got her bundled up, took her out to the Snow Princess, and we got out there. And unfortunately, at the time, she said, "Where gone? Where gone?" And what she meant was Snow Princess's face had, no smile left. In fact, the nose turned into what looked like a silly little mustache. So I said, "Oh, that's okay." And I caused a diversion. I took her over here with the snow, and I got back over there, and I started putting a smile back on. The Snow Princess. And guess what happened? You ever do something like maybe this past week where you're trying to do good and it turns out to not be so good? I was going like this, and I pushed off the head. I decapitated the snowman. Who does that? And I'm moving around so she can't see what happened. No head. That could be traumatic. So I rebuilt the snowman's head a little bit and everything. So I'm going to give you a quick view. It's not, next week I'll show you a picture of the Snow Princess in her prime, because age has not been too kind. She's actually lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know about you in snow quarantine or any quarantine. If you lost weight, I certainly didn't. But let me just snap over and show you a quick shot of Snow Princess here, okay? All right, here we go. Yeah, right over that hill over there is the good. Right over that hill over there is springtime is coming. So when I talk about finding the good, can we say amen? The springtime is coming. And we do. I did as promised. I want to tell you about the hit that our building took. Our building is going through challenges, and we did have sprinkler head and housing unit burst in the Fillmore room closet. I know you're like, where's that? And we have a closet in there? I don't know. For some reason, a sprinkler head's there. I don't really know why they chose that spot, but it busted. Randy Sitzman just happened to be walking and checking the building like he does. And he called me immediately, called Robert Edwards immediately. We started brainstorming and called Fred Clausen, where's the main turnoff? Chris Wilson, thank you, Chris Wilson, props to you on how to get the riser turnoff happening so that we could stop the flow of water. But it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long, and the water spread quickly throughout 3 classrooms, the landing outside the classrooms upstairs, and all the way down the hall into reception, under the walls, into the staff kitchen, into the James Dillett Friedman storage room, and the library and other places. So there is significant damage. And I know that brings sad visuals for us, but when I talk about thinking about the good, let me tell you, it was a logistical feat this week. Got to give a special thanks to Robert Edwards, to Randy Sitzman, and Evelyn Jankrell, and Jennifer Markley. I mean, and others. So many. We teamed up. We came together, and got a plumber there, which was a minor miracle. We got a restoration company there. It's all ready. They came ahead of schedule to take a look at everything. The insurance company is going to help us out. It's a $2,500 deductible, but that's great compared to what it would have been, to total restoration. The water's gone down into the children's church. The toddler room had like an ankle deep of water. So it's going to be sheetrocking, tiles, electrical. I mean, there's just going to be quite a bit of work. The reason we're not coming to you today from the sanctuary is because we've had heating issues in there, which we hope are fixed now, but there's no water, so we didn't want to have you show up today with no water, but that's why we are doing the service this way. And your donations mean a lot right now to us, so thank you, not only for the building, for the deductible and anything we have to replace beyond that, but also we're going to help as many families as we can, because we know we got families that have even worse issues going on with with damage at their place. We have quite a number of congregants. Our very own Bob Goodwin, his apartment's flooded, even his keyboard. I was like, not the keyboard. But Alexis Rice. I mean, so many folks that are struggling in our community and their families and beyond. So here's what I want you to know. We are not a building. Our church is not a building. Our community is not a building. We really appreciate having that incredible space, and we will restore that. But more than anything, we are here for you. We are here for you. If you need us, we're going to be giving thousands of dollars to help families in need. If you need us, call us or email us on our website. You can do the contact us from the website, and it will be forwarded to me and to anybody else that it needs to be. Also, guys, don't forget, there is a page, there's a tab to pray, to leave a prayer request. And our prayer chaplains are amazing. And that you can ask for your own personal prayer chaplain that will pray with you at any interval that you need. Okay? And also the number to Silent Unity. When was the last time you called Silent Unity? Take advantage of all of this, because we know the prayer works. So we are here for you. And I want us right now to pray together. God is present. Love is present because God is love. So we will rise up. There is no doubt about that. And we will do it together. And for today's prayer, I want you to think about, I gave you an example of just one thing in my life that is good that has come out of all this nutty stuff that's been happening. And can you think of something that has happened in your life this week that is, despite the challenge, that is good? Because when we focus on the good, then it's much easier for us to remember the divine. It's much easier for us to remember Jesus' teachings. It's much easier for us to come together and to heal from anything. All right? So You know, it could be the way a family member reached out to you. It could be the spring is coming over that hill. It could be a combination of things, that you had food. Oh, the embrace of a warm blanket this week. Okay, it can be something simple. But let's do that together. Just bring that into your mind right now if you're willing to close your eyes. And just take a deep breath. The good, the beauty of this life. Bring into your mind right now the power of the mind. Oh, the power of the mind, which our special speaker is going to talk about today. The beauty, the power of us co-creating, our third principle of unity, co-creating with God, our reality. So we can focus on the negative, or we can focus on the positive, because God is present. The divine is with us, through us, as everywhere present. So bring in something into your mind that you are thankful for right now. 1, 2, or 3 things. And breathe into that. In this prayer time and meditation time, we just listen. Nothing else you have to do. Just listen to that still, quiet voice of Spirit. See, in this moment, we are choosing to align with Spirit. We are making the choice to recognize the good. The good, God, the omnipotent, to bring appreciation to the good that is present in our life that we may not even see right now, but it is there, helping us move forward, to understand what is the next right thing for me to do. Just ask that question now to God. What is the next right thing for me? And again, just remembering the thing that that's a starting place in prayer and meditation. Often when we do this gratitude meditation is, the good. Look at the beauty. Look at all these modern conveniences that we have: fresh water, heat, the love of others. Let's fill up our hearts. Let's fill up our hearts, and let's send that out, that love out in prayer to everyone who needs it, to all of those struggling. Never be selfish with our love. Let's spread that out. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen and amen. And so it is. Last week we had Carla Edwards. If you did not get to see her talk, go to the e-news. There's a link you can click on. We had a little bit of a technical glitch last week, but I'm telling you, you want to go back and watch this. You can also see it on our Facebook under our videos there. But she talks about love and self-love. Is fortuitous for her, is premonition for her to be talking about that based on the week we just had. And self-care and where that word came from, and even kind of how it threaded in the 7 deadly sins. It was very interesting. But self-care and self-love, it takes the power of the mind for us to tune our awareness to that direction. So today, I want to introduce you to a special guest, because this last week was originally my vacation. It was going to be my scheduled vacation. And so it wasn't that. It wasn't that, that's for sure. But I had Gigi Kenney scheduled for this talk today, because not only are we celebrating Black History Month, and her and I got to talking about so many of the leaders, and some of them Rick Horsey pointed to a couple weeks ago, but Maya Angelou and all of these, and we're so excited to talk about all of this celebration, which we still can, it's still relevant, but we also, well, what's relevant now after this week? And I know she wants to take us on a journey of the mind and talk about that some today. And she's a professional speaker. I've gotten to see her speak in Toastmasters. Has a long bio you can read in the e-news. She's so special, but she's very special to our congregation. She supports each and every week Unity of Dallas, and she's always there to give a positive word. And she also led courageous conversations for us last year that dealt with racial relations. And I told her, I said, you are a master facilitator, because it never got heated. This hot button issue, people were able to really come together and have more of a common understanding so that we could move forward in this area. So thank you, Gigi. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate the Christ that you are. Thank you. Take it away.
Good morning, Unity of Dallas, on this third Sunday of Black History Month. My name is Gigi Kenney, and I am humbled and grateful that Reverend James asked me to speak today. My white stone word for this year is transformation. This transformation must align with my purpose, which is to lead with courage and empathy so that others will live in authenticity and light. My approach will be to write and speak and master Black history. Now, immediately after revealing these thoughts to June Dillinger a couple of weeks ago, I received the email from James to speak today. There are no accidents in the universe, only divine order. And we've all had a variety of experiences this past week, some presenting more challenges than others. I am grateful for many things today. After 3 days of extreme cold and darkness, Scott and I now have heat and we have light. This past week, millions of us experienced the effects of the most catastrophic disaster in Texas history. Many are still without food, without water, or without a warm, habitable place to live. Across the nation, Snowvid-19, which it's being called, has already begun to take a human toll, and it may take years to recover emotionally, psychologically, and financially. Suddenly, millions of citizens, through no fault of their own, were thrust into levels 1 and 2 of the 5 levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs: food, shelter, warmth, safety. These are the basic needs, the survival needs. That said, we know that all experiences are opportunities to learn and grow. But until my survival needs were met, my mind was unable to go to a higher level to process what was happening. The closest I came to a philosophical thought was, how did we get here? Something that I've asked Scott rhetorically for the last few years. Now, we own a home in Florida that we lease out to executives. And the gentleman whose family is living there now, Nerman, called and asked if we were okay. And we said, well, we're without heat, we're without lights, we're really cold, and it's pretty miserable, Nerman. He says, how long has it been? What's the longest you've been actually without power? We said, oh, about 4 days during a hurricane in Florida. And he said, well, I have experienced that for 14 straight months. You see, he was living in the Balkans during the Civil War. It lasted for 14 months. He said he had to bring water up to the 15th floor every single day for his needs, and that he had no power. He had a battery-powered space heater, and that was it. So that pretty much put things into perspective for me. We're not speaking to Nerman anymore about how miserable we are. Now, once my mind was able to process, my revelation was unexpected and unraveled in an unforeseen way. Now, Scott and I were deliberate about not leaving our place this past week. There were few housing alternatives for an immune-compromised condition. Like many of you, friends asked us to stay with them. Our son Alex, who lives in Washington, D.C., sought out friends who also invited us to come and stay. Our city set up an overnight warming station, and my company, Assist, offered names of available hotels. Yet none of these solutions would work for us, so we toughed it out. One would think that some of our experiences had prepared us for COVID-19. Earthquakes, fires, and floods while living in California, tornadoes in Tennessee, hurricanes in Florida, but nothing prepares you for isolation and deprivation. For Scott and I, the struggle was real. We found ourselves in a pain and joy continuum. There were new things to be learned, discoveries to be made. We've always had a division of labor, so Scott busied himself rolling up towels to attempt to block any wind that might seep through windows and doors. Joy. The extreme cold, darkness, and desolation was painful. I found our extra blankets and spread them over the bed and finally got around to burning those green and white prosperity candles and all the other candles in the house. They emitted much needed warmth. Joy. There was not enough light to read, and we used our devices minimally, so we had little information about what was going on in the world around us. While we never lost hope, in our bodies and minds, there was pain. Scott discovered that a portable charger keeps its charge and can be used even after a couple of years. More joy. Now, this cycle continued with each new discovery. On that first dark and freezing night, there was a knock at the door. It was that neighbor down the hall who had a beautiful lab named Princess, who died. We were still mourning the death of our own lab and that of Princess, so we never got the name of the replacement pet, although we treated it with kindness. It is common for residents here to identify with pets and not people. Limited human interaction, little commitment. Consequently, we had said hello in the hall and petted Princess for 6 years and didn't know each other's names. The woman, white, timidly asked to borrow a flashlight. Scott had one, and mine was a bright shade of purple. This neighbor had been a goth and had worn lots and lots of purple. But knowing there was a possibility I would never see my flashlight again, I gave it to her anyway. She was so grateful. She was full of questions about the weather, the building, the neighbors, when we might get power back. Some that we were able to answer and some that we were not. She left cold and miserable. It seemed like an insignificant occurrence at the time. A pleasant discovery for us was that although the outage in our unit was constant, the common areas in our building were on the 2-hour rolling power schedule. This meant that for a brief window, we could go to the building across the street and charge our devices. Our building is very diverse. There was an African male in the common room when we arrived. We were then joined by others seeking electrical outlets. People of all ages and life circumstances. An Eastern Indian male, a Latino male, an Asian male, and a white woman, both using the building computers. a Black male and his 2 children who came to use the computer to find a hotel so that he could keep his children warm. And there were several others. The feeling was respectful and communal, the most time I've ever spent with fellow residents in 7 years. We all seem to have a common glad to be around others. We're in this together. We use the system to get our devices charged, esprit de corps. We were all still cold, but we were masked and polite and helpful to each other. I am grateful for that experience because it sustained me for quite some time. Later, I discovered I could rig a couple of extension cords end to end, tape them across the hallway into our unit, and charge devices at home. When the power outage had begun, Scott and I were on day 7 of a 10-day green smoothie cleanse. We take these cleanses very seriously. A little slower to think than normal, it dawned on me on day 2 of the outage that we could not continue the cleanse because we didn't have use of the blender. Why did every little thought feel like a major revelation? That day, I passed 3 closed grocery stores on the way to Trader Joe's. I went right in and noticed the usual menagerie of Trader Joe's customers, young and seniors, all races and ethnicities. But there was a different feeling in the air from my usual shopping experience there. It reminded me of the feeling I experienced in my building common area. People were extra kind and considerate, as if being careful with each other and being careful for each other. There, free from smoothie cleanse, I purchased the right survival foods. With bag in hand, I left the store as proud as a parent whose toddler had just gone potty for the first time. In my mind, meeting those basic needs for food, warmth, shelter, and safety was what my learning and my growth in this experience was all about. On one of our neighbors' visits, we exchanged phone numbers and found out her name is Nina, and she found out our names as well. She asked us several other things, including a travel bag, as she was going to stay with friends in Little Elm. We continued to get texts from her indicating that she was on treacherous roads and that she had finally arrived. I think she wanted someone to see her and to know that she was there. When power was finally restored, we let Nina know. And even then, I thought the trauma, as evidenced by distressing thoughts, feelings, and physical symptoms, was indicative of survival growth that I had undergone. But when I was finally again able to use my higher thoughts to meditate and pray, it hit me. The discovery and use of survival skills, while essential, were not at all what this experience was about. The universe revealed to me that it was about helping Nima. She stopped by with a gift of wine and candy, by the way, upon her return, to show her gratitude for our new friendship. It was also about venturing across the street to find ourselves among many United Nations bound together out of need and a desire to survive this ordeal as best we could. It was about the kindness at Trader Joe's. As David Friedman states in his book and song, we can be kind, we can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same thing, and maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. My COVID-19 revelation took me to thoughts of racial and ethnic reconciliation among people, a key theme for speakers during Black History Month. By the way, the running joke among Blacks is that they gave us February, the shortest month of the year, to celebrate. Wow. Actually, February was chosen because it's the birth month of two individuals who had a significant impact on the trajectory to equality of Blacks in America. Abe Lincoln, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation that freed slaves, and W.E.B. Du Bois, a Harvard-educated sociologist, writer, and activist for the rights of Black people. Now, I believe we are in a season of reckoning where we are testing those things we have always thought to be true. I know I am. Mine comes as I look at unknown fortune, dignity, and humanity that have been lost as people of color have been treated as unequal and yoked with an entire system of injustice. This based upon the premise that progress for Blacks and other Black people of color will come at the expense of whites, AKA a zero-sum game. Now, you know how we feel about those. Now, Heather McGee, in her new book, The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together, not only dispels this, but has also calculated the cost of racism to be in the excess of $16 trillion. Absolutely. Now, I had prepared to provide specific ways to help the Black community, for you to help the Black community in this struggle, and I'd be happy to do that in the future. Just contact me. But as Linda Marie Miller, developer of the White Allied Toolkit, says, that is yours to do. Yes, I struggle too. No amount of education shields me. No amount of money shields me. No amount of white friends, age, or wisdom shields me. It is constant. I turn to Psalm 133 that says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Also, I identify quite a bit with the Apostle Barnabas, which is in Greek means son of encouragement. Barnabas had a reputation for coming alongside people, especially sketchy people, with consolation and comfort. He was a bridge builder who brought people together. He had your back in tough times. I try to be a Barnabas. I have Barnabases in my life. Several here at Unity of Dallas. There is safety in living and developing friendships with those that look like you, speak like you, think like you. But where's the fun in that? Sometimes we fear people we do not know much about. We assume, as Eric Butterworth says, that in justice and in harmony, in unity, a quest for truth, that there are times when our rights are threatened and when we feel that what is ours is taken from us. The way of overcoming is through coming over the thoughts of conflict to a higher level, to the thought of divine order. Remember, safety is level 2 Maslow, pretty low on the scale. We as humans must strive to reach our highest levels of tolerance, compassion, and love. In Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letter, she writes about helping others. You are God's executive, and you, indwelling Lord, depends on you to make his glory manifest. Then be up and doing. You know how she is. You do the will of him who sent you. In so doing, you are not only helping yourself, you are helping others. And I want to say, creating this talk has made me so happy. Sharing this talk with you this morning has made me even happier. I feel that our collective consciousness over the past week and into the future will give us the strength that I am feeling, the optimism and warrior's heart for good that I hope I am exuding, and the love that flows freely whenever we are together, the love that flows freely when we have to be apart, the love thy neighbor kind of love, the creation of harmony in our minds and hearts so it will find it in our lives. I allow love to flow freely. Divine peace and harmony surround me and dwell in me, and so it is. Amen.
Hello, Unity of Dallas. My name is Makaylah Perkins, and I'm here today to talk to you about all the amazing opportunities that are coming up this week with Unity of Dallas to enrich ourselves and our spiritual education, but also to give to our community. But before I even get into that, I know this week was extremely challenging. My own family had to leave our house for a couple of days because of losing power, and I know that that is only the tip of the iceberg, really, to some of the struggles that have gone on for people. So my heart is with you, power or not, and we are sending, me and all of Unity of Dallas are sending you so much love. And with that being said, thank you to Reverend James and Gigi for delivering such a perfectly timed, inspirational message. We will carry it with us. One more thing before I get started with announcements. I am the leader of our RG2 Young Adults group, and me and Julia Caldwell are working on getting a Zoom call coming up this next week. It's probably going to be on Saturday, to give young adults a time to connect and talk about the craziness that's going on in this world. So please, if you are a young adult and you are not on our email list, but you are watching this right now, contact us through our website. That email will be passed on to me, and I would be so happy to connect with you. So let's start talking about the announcements. So all of our online classes are going to be on Zoom this week, and we have our caregiver support group led by Dottie, and that's going to be Wednesday, February 24th from 10:30 a.m. to noon. Then we have the Men of Unity who are going to meet, and they're going to discuss healthy habits for joyful living. That's going to be Saturday, February 27th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Now, due to the challenges with our water and our HVAC systems, anything that was really going on, usually weekly, is going to be pushed to next week, so listen closely to these dates. So as far as our Suitmobile, that is super important. We have a huge need right now with Dallas shelters, given what has just happened with all this weather. So please get together your bags, water bottles, chips, cookies, load them all up for us, and go ahead and bring them to Unity of Dallas on Saturday, February 27th from 2 to 4 p.m., Sunday, February 28th, before and after the service, and Tuesday, March 2nd from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Now, our Love Bears is going to continue to March 7th, but that's a really great opportunity to, give some love and some joy to kids who have experienced abuse. So please go to the store, buy a bear, love up on it at home. You can do the shop and shift and send the bear to Unity of Dallas, and we'll love up on it for you. Or you can just donate to the cause in any way you can, really. But the dates for the drop-off for that is going to be Saturday, February 27th from 2 to 4 p.m., Sunday, February 28th, before and after the 11 a.m. service. But just a reminder, it goes through March 7th, so you still have some time. Now, next Sunday, Fred Clausen is going to be the speaker for the Sunday Seekers class, and it's going to be a cool class. The title of it is The 40-Second Clock is Ticking. Call the Play. Making Decisions to Thrive in Life. And he has an athletic background, so it should be a good one. That's going to be Sunday, February 28th, 10 to 10:45 a.m. Now, the biggest announcement that I will always have for you guys is SEE Week. It is coming up. We are so excited. It's such a good opportunity, and registration is up. So go to our website, look at what the classes are, get registered, and get excited. It's a great time to spiritually invest in yourself. And the date for that is going to be April 18th to the 23rd. Now, with all of that being said, with all of the inspiration, the love, the divinity, and the Christ essence that we have experienced in this service, I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Just sit with your heart for a second and feel what is yours to give. Whether it is of your time, your talents, or something in your wallet, Unity of Dallas is such a great community, and it does so much for every person who is brought into its grasps. And now, especially with everything going on, your donations are so appreciated and are being put to really, really good use. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a couple ways you can donate. So you can go ahead and sign up with our mobile app and do it easily there if you are, a youth like me. Or you can text GIVE to the phone number. You can go ahead and click that donate button on our website. That's the easiest way in my opinion. Or you can mail your check to Unity of Dallas. We are happy to take it the old-fashioned way. So with that being said, let's go ahead and say our offertory blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Spirit.
Everybody sing this all together as one.